Oh yeah, I dance now. Hey, I
Well,
better, else you'll be on me about it. No.
all right. Well, you know, this is, I want to say thank you for making time to have a conversation with me about your journey. And I know you're in the midst of it,
Yes.
but being in the midst of it, you know, before we talk about like where you are in the midst of it, I want to
Mhm.
start with before we started working together,
Oh
right?
my God.
Because my gut was telling me that you were in a place where you thought, okay, I'm gonna call Robert, and but it's gonna be hard. Oh man, I'm gonna have to give up everything. Like, so tell me about that.
Well, okay. Seeing that I am a stress eater, I was a stress eater. And everything that when I get stressed out, whatever it is, I grab the nearest thing and I eat.
Okay, are you there? Did we lose you? Okay, we lost her for a second, but hang on. So she's gonna come back. And Andrea is a client that I'm working with at this very moment, and her story is awesome. Okay, so she's getting set up. So we're gonna bring her back on here. Okay, so
Am
you're
I
back.
back on yet?
Oh yeah, your sound is even better.
Oh, okay. And now I
Okay,
just lost you. Oh my God.
okay. Well, as long as you can hear
Okay,
me,
there we
we.
are. And
So
now
where
I
are
don't have
you?
yours
Are you
down.
in the parking lot of a KFC or something?
Let me see if I can fix the sound because now I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me.
A little bit. It's
Okay.
very vague.
All right. Well, you want me to scream?
Uh, hey, whatever works, you know.
Oh my goodness. So
I've got you on Bluetooth in my car.
okay, well that may
Um,
play a part of it. So you have to turn your volume up in your car.
okay. I think somebody I put this thing on do not disturb. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. This is from the hip. We're just coming from the hip. This is real. You know, I just did a live where I talked about food pushers. So we lost her again. Now in the future, you guys, whenever you do a live, it's ideal not to be on your phone, but to be on a computer, laptop, maybe even an iPad or a tablet. It could work, but you're taking a risk when you do that. Um, and you know, so not everybody's really good with the whole lives and all that. But whenever we do something like that, it's ideal that you do that. So there she is. She's back. We're gonna do this one more
Okay.
time.
Yes, and I can hear you. I hope you can hear me.
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear. So give us the backstory, Andrea.
Okay. So, when things are stressful, you want to eat, and my diabetes. I'm diabetic. I will tell everybody that. Not for long, anyway. But I my sugar levels were up when I first started. Really realizing it, my sugar levels were 12 point. I think it was 12.6. Then when I got with you, it was 10.6. So I had got it down, but these levels were up. They were giving me Lantus, Humalog, needles, Trulicity, and I'm taking this stuff in metformin. I know every type 2 diabetic has metformin, just about, and pills that scared me because the shots were making me sick. They only got me down so far, and I thought, is this all? What is this stuff doing? It's not helping me at all because it would take the numbers down, but not down far enough. So I don't want to be on this stuff for the rest of my life. And then even Actos that I was on, I read about it, and they had pulled it off the market
Mm.
and bought it back because it gave people, I think it was uh, gallbladder cancer or some kind of cancer. It was inevitable. So I knew I had to do something. I talked to my doctor, and I had even, okay, confession time. I think I had told you this, but I had even started the Diet Free Life thing where you pay a monthly thing and you go through the program yourself, basically
Mm.
without a coach. So I was actually paying you for like maybe 6 months, and I had to. And this is bad because when try to do it on your own, if you're stressed anyway, you're gonna take it easy on yourself, and you're gonna let yourself get by with this and get by with that, and basically that's what I was doing. And then there's people around me, loved ones that are losing legs, feet, that kind of thing. And I started getting those pains in my feet, and I said, "Oh my God, something's got to be done." I talked to my doctor. She gave me this book about all these studies that were done, and I read them. And most of the things that they were giving people, like, how can you give a type 2 diabetic insulin? Okay, the problem is I have too much insulin floating around. Insulin delivers that energy to your cells, to produce energy. And if you're already stuffed, they have nowhere else to go but in your bloodstream. So that raises up your blood sugar level. So, and that's what that book was telling me. But they wanted me to do intermittent fasting, like fast for 3 days. There's no way I could do that. So I said, I better get back on that program. So I went searching again, and I saw the VIP program. And I said, this might work. This might work. But I didn't know if I could even eat right because, like I said, I'm a stress eater. I used to smoke a long time ago, and everything was, if the phone rings, you sit down, light up a cigarette. And if, somebody comes and talks to you, light up a cigarette. I mean, that's the way it was. I was a bad chain smoker. I quit, thank God. But that went off into my eating. And, so it took me a while to realize that. That's stress eating, and that's what happened. But, and then I started with you. So you want me to continue? And
well, when you started with me, did the clouds part and the sun came out?
You know what? I want to say yes. Yes. It was the accountability, and just starting when you gave me this thing about slow carbs, I'm like, oh my God, all slow carbs, no fast carbs. And I'm like, when am I going to get to eat slow carbs? It's like, I thought lettuce, that kind of thing. And I really said, I got to make this work. And because I had a coach that I had to report into, that helped me along the way because there was no way I could do this by myself, and I thank you for this program. I really do.
Well, it's been about 3 months solid.
Yeah.
And so do you mind sharing like your highest glucose fasting and your lowest so far?
When I first started, my highest glucose, I believe, was 183, 200, something like that. It was staying in the 200 and 300 levels. And when I start eating, it start going down, every day it was different. Every week was different. And now my levels are like running into the 120, 130, sometimes 140. But sugar goes up and down because it doesn't have to be just food or lack of exercise. Right. It could be stress too. So, but yeah, it's really down, and I have one of those glucose monitors, and the green area is where you want to be, and most of my readings are in the green level. So that is exciting. That is exciting, and I didn't think I could do this.
And then how much weight have you dropped in these 3 months or so?
Over 21 pounds.
Hey.
And the funny thing about it, I was so focused on the numbers with my glucose levels that it took a minute, a smack in the face, like, girl, you just lost 20 some pounds, and I was just focused on that. And my eating is different, and I can't eat different now. I can't eat like I did anymore.
Well, I see some of the foods that I've seen some of your boost meals.
Oh yeah. But I don't even enjoy the McDonald's French fries. I used to be a McDonald's French fry freak. I love those things so much. But I ate some and they didn't do anything to me. Rally's is different because they have other seasoning on it. But yeah.
So getting your blood sugars where they are, dropping weight, share like 3 meals that you've eaten or that you eat that most people would not believe that you have eaten and you still improve your glucose and improve your weight.
Okay. Well, the boost meals for one, although that's only once a week.
Yeah, but give an example of what that boost meal is. I mean, I see a hot dog with French fries the other day?
Yes, you did. There was a chili dog with all this stuff on it. I love it with the chili sauce and the onions, and it was good. And French fries, and they were seasoned fries, so they were deep fried. That was really good. And I mean, I just love the fact I can eat spaghetti. The only thing I would substitute the noodles for, and I don't have to substitute the noodles now because that could be a fast carb. But I choose to do the zucchini noodles, which is just as good to me because I make good spaghetti, so it doesn't matter what I put it on.
I like that. You know what? You just said something that was very powerful. It's probably the most important thing that I work on getting people to get, and that is keeping the freedom of choice as part of your lifestyle. Meaning, you said, I choose to eat those noodles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
When a person's on a conventional diet, they can't have those noodles. There is no choice. Choice is pulled away. And when choice is pulled away, I'm about to bring in my preaching now. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Bring it on.
Well, it's like when you pull that away, that's when people, they feel horrible on the inside because that's been removed. There's power in being able to choose and knowing that you have that option to choose what you want based on what is in front of you. And that's very powerful.
Right. Yes. And now, I can eat a sandwich. I love that.
Now you did say, I remember you said when I asked you if you would do a live with me, you said that in the beginning, before we got started, you had come up with all of these ideas of what you thought was going to happen. Like you were going to be hungry, you were going to be missing out.
Yeah.
Like share a little bit, because a lot of people, they sit back and they watch me on Facebook and they go, yeah, well, because they don't know. They just go, yeah, I'm going to have to give up this. I'm going to have to give up that. Can you speak to that?
I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to stick to it because I was in love with cakes and junk food and all of that stuff. But, once I started doing this, I mean, the biggest shocker was the slow carb thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope I can do it, which I wound up doing it. And it was nice. And when he threw in the fast carbs, I was like, well, I don't know what to do with the fast carbs. I like the slow carbs. I mean, I kind of grew a taste for it. It keeps me full. I didn't have to, I didn't feel like eating in between meals and stuff like that, as much as I did.
Right.
Because I had to prepare, or figure out what I was going to do. I had to think about what I was going to eat,
right.
And that was a good thing for me. So I was able to keep it. I mean, able to do it.
Now, I want to bring up something because I have one of my clients and friends. His name is Dave, and we're working on reversing his type 2 diabetes. And he and we have great conversations. But you read that one book, I think it was by Dr. Jason Fung. And in that book, almost everything that he says scientifically you must do to get the numbers that you've gotten, we have done the total opposite.
Yes.
Right? He says, if you are diabetic, you want to improve, you must do intermittent fasting.
Right.
Don't eat.
Every 3 days. 3 days. Can you imagine that? 3 days.
So think about all the people who are reading that book, but they don't know what you know because you have personally experienced it.
Right. Yes. And it works. I mean, this works better than anything that I have done. Anything that I've done. I haven't seen levels like this for years.
And guess what? It doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But as a matter of fact, I could get full enough and doing my exercise and stuff, and I don't even feel like eating sometimes. I'm satisfied. I don't feel like eating every now and then, I might skip a meal just because I'm tired. I'll go eat a snack, but, just to keep something in the stomach. But
right. Well, in a lot of those books, they say, one, don't eat 3 meals a day, but you've been eating 3 meals.
I have.
And then they say, don't snack. You've been snacking. So, you know what I mean? Like, what would you tell a doctor that writes a book and comes across with all of this evidence? Because everything he's saying not to do, you're doing, but in the way that we've created. and you're getting these amazing outcomes.
I would tell him he better get his money back from the book he wrote. 'Cause, you know, you don't. I mean, you don't have to fast. It works if you eat the right things and put the right combinations together. It works, and I mean every week I'm going down. Even if it's a little bit of weight, a lot of weight. My sugar levels are getting better. I mean, it's working.
Nice. I love it. Now, there's two things that I would definitely want to kind of bring up. One, you first met me. What's that story? Like, how did we first meet each other? Because years later, we now are working together.
Yeah. Dr. Anderson, Bernadette Anderson. I was going to her office, and she was kind of big lady. And every time I go back, she got smaller and smaller. I was like, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm eating." I said, "You're what?" "You can't be eating." But she told me about you, and there was going to be a meeting, and I wound up going to the meeting and doing the diet-free life. I was getting ready to get married, wanted to fit that wedding gown, so I got on that program, and I lost. I think I want to say I lost close to 50 pounds.
Nice. And now, was that a meeting that she did, or was that one that I came to?
You came to, and she pulled it together.
Okay,
so you came from out of town, so she
okay, I remember that night. I remember that night.
Yeah.
But like with Dr. Anderson, when I first met her, she saw me on an infomercial, and she was watching it, and she wanted to support me because I was, she saw this brother. She's like, "All right, let me give him a chance." But a lot of what I was saying, she's like, "Come on." And she was about to turn the TV, and she saw another doctor on there that she went to medical school with named Dr. David Pryor. And she goes, "David would not be part of something that's not real." So then she watched it, and then she called David. David called me. We talked on the phone. And like most people, I go, yeah, we'll get you going. I said, when you lose 50 pounds with the program, then give me a call. Months later, she calls me. "Hey, you said to call you. I'm down 50. I go, "Wow." She went on to lose 165 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's still lean right now.
Yeah.
That was over 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Except I didn't do what she did. I kind of got off the diet-free life thing for a while, but obviously.
Well, and now you're back.
Yeah, but now I'm back.
And you're doing it right, and you are a joy to work with. And I love your spirit because you have a caring, loving part of you. And I got to see that recently when something happened, and one of your dear friends is now working with me. And I love, will you share that story? Kind of how, because that was one of those things where TD Jakes talks about it called destiny. It's like certain things will just line up. And, and I shared that with your friend, but share with those who are listening, like what happened.
Well, we were going to lunch. We do things together with another program. And so, I'm eating the right way and explaining to her about this. And then she started talking about her friend that had a best friend of hers that had passed away from fatty liver disease. She was worried about that. And because of, she had the same diagnosis. And I said, well, I think that this program could help you. So I said, well, let's look it up on Facebook. And you had made this post 30 minutes before I looked at it, and she was right there. And you asked if anyone had that disease, that you could help, that this program could help. And I was like, oh my goodness. I said, look at this. I won't say her name, of course, but I said, look at this. I can't believe this. You have got to, that shows me right there. I said, he just posted this. He just posted this. Had it been any sooner, we might not have saw that.
Right.
So then, she joined it that day. She joined the program that day.
And she's doing really well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm proud of her.
We have momentum, and we actually had a really good conversation the other day, and I want to, because you're someone who speaks your mind. Like, I don't think you hold back.
No, sometimes if I think I'm gonna get in trouble, I might. But no, I don't. I say it like it is.
Well, we had a conversation. I would love to get your thoughts on this, because many people fall prey to what I'm about to share, and that is, you start doing something and you're feeling good and it's working for you. And then you have people close to you or a friend will say, hey, so you know what to do. You don't need a coach. Why you gotta call him, like, or call her? What's your thoughts on that? Because people do say stuff like that.
You know, I know that I have to be accountable to somebody because, you know, I think a lot of people do this. Okay, I'm going to do a diet, but I'll go ahead and cheat for now and I'll get back on it, and they never do. Or keep it in line. I mean, being accountable to somebody really helps. It's somebody to share your victories with, you know, and it's good because your coach is happy, you're happy, and you want to keep that momentum going. So I think it's encouraging. It really is encouraging. It's a lot of inspiration, and it makes you really want to do it.
Yeah. You know, and at one point in my life, not too long ago, I was not being the person that I wanted to be, right? I didn't have the smile. I was going through some stuff. And so I went and hired a counselor. Now, the counselor I hired, it was $150 a week every time I would go in. And I went once a week because it helped me be a better person. And I noticed when I would go see the counselor, say it was on Thursday. Well, I leave on Thursday, I feel amazing. I'm looking at life through different lenses. I'm rejuvenated. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is still with me. Come Monday, Tuesday, it started to like drop. It was starting to fade a little bit because I was starting to, you know, I didn't have the same lift. But then Thursday, I'm back with that counselor, and I got repumped. And then I would go a week, and right when I was starting to drift, I'm back with that counselor again. And so I did that for about 8 months, right? 150, that's $600 a month.
Wow.
And I would pay more to go through that because I know my kids at that time were getting the best of their father. It was worth it.
Yeah. You got to do that sometimes, you know?
You know, it's kind of like that whole thing when if you go to church every week. Well, guess what? Every week, you know how you leave church and if the pastor does a good job, you're inspired.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You go home, you have dinner, and you talk about the sermon. Oh, man, I was like, whoa. And it gets you going for the week. And then when, you know, the world starts pulling you in, let me go to I need to get to church.
Yeah. Amen.
So I get it. Accountability to me is something that is really is. I think I shared with you when I did Food Lovers, my first infomercial. I remember we were done. It was going really well. And they said, if you could make it better, what's the one thing that the program is missing? And I said, coaching.
Yes.
That was what was missing.
That's a very good part.
So,
because even with Weight Watchers, you had to go in and get weighed in. You know, that helped a lot of people.
Oh,
you know,
Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers. Yeah, I lost about 100 pounds with them, but that was back in the day.
Yeah, and back in the day, I thought Weight Watchers was better back in the day, in my opinion. And I love what Jean Nidis did back then. She created something that helped a lot of people, and so I am a fan of Jean Nidis and the Weight Watchers like story. And it played a big part in how Diet Free Life as a methodology was created and has evolved. So I take nothing away from Weight Watchers. I think it's great. Now, where it's missing is upgrading their counselors to have the knowledge of someone like myself. You know what I mean? And that's not going to happen because that would cost a lot of money. But I believe that you know, when you can go in and you can go to your coach, or you and I have a session, and I can share things with you that's new, help you like take your nutrition IQ to another level. And like you said, enjoy the victories together, and also, you know, stick together when we have the setbacks.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know that if I do, that you're going to give me some advice of what to do or what to try, or, you know, and make me think about, what did I do? You know, what do you think you did this week? Like, I don't know. And then, you know, you can ask me questions, and that can help me get straight, you know?
All right. So share with the people, am I the type of coach that yells at you?
No. No, not at all. But, you know, you tell it like it is. So you will tell me if there's something that I might not be doing. Like, you kind of caught me this one week, and when you asked about my exercise, which was a bad week. Sorry. But yeah. But no,
Well,
you're
anyway.
good. You're good. And
Well,
then you always offer that if I need anything, I can always contact you. Or, you know, I guess if I'm having a bad time or something, I could call you. So you can help me get back on my feet, you know.
that's right. Just don't call too late.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
you don't have to worry about that, because I'm at Eastern Standard Time. I'm probably in bed by the time you get ready to think about going to bed. So it
Yeah,
might
no,
be early in the morning, though.
I'm right there with you. Well, I just want to say thank you for this was really fun. You're great to talk to, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for having me.
All right. Now, you know,
For everybody out there, you got to do it. You got to try it. Don't let anything talk you out of it. If you're scared that you can't do it, if you're an eater like I was, it's okay. You can do it. I mean, it really works.
all right. Well, you heard it from the one and only. Now, here's some advice for you this weekend. It is July 4th weekend.
Yes.
Okay. And I did a call earlier. I said, there's food pushers out there. And you're going to have people that haven't seen you in a while. They're going to go, Andrea, you look great. Oh, you got to try this cake, girl. I stayed up all night. And they're going to push stuff on you. And you'll say, no, I'm good. Oh, come on, girl. You look good, but you don't need to lose no more weight. What are you going to say to them when they go, you don't need to lose no more weight? You're good.
I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not done yet. And I'm not eating that. And if I do eat it, I have to eat it right.
All right.
Even if I take a little piece of it that I think is around, what is it, this much on your hand, 200 calories, or I could figure that out. And I have done this before. There was this big picnic that this girl has all the time, food everywhere. So I just took maybe a little bit of certain foods, and I wanted this cake. And if I didn't get that piece of cake, and I left it there till everybody else got there, it would be gone, because this woman's known for this cake. So I cut my little cake, and I put it up in her cupboard. I put it in the pantry way in the back. And I waited 2 hours, and everybody was counting down with me. I said, I can't eat this for 2 hours. I'm sorry. But, you know, you can do it. And I don't want to mess up. So you can still have that cake. You got to do it right, you know?
Well, my man Dave said that you are a great lady. So in the comments, and you really are. So thank you.
Dave.
And let's keep rocking and rolling. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Let's do it.
That's Andrea. I'm Robert. And thank you for giving us a chance to share part of Andrea's story. And when we totally reverse type 2 diabetes, which we will, then we will come back and we will share that with everybody.
Yes.
All right.
And I'll dance.
Okay. Okay. All right. You have a good one. Bye-bye.